You know, one of the more highly anticipated movies this year is obviously Black Widow. People have been very, very excited about it. It's been delayed and all that kind of stuff. Well, you know, we're always saying around here during this whole lockdown stuff, it says, make lemonade out of the lemons you've been given. Well, it looks like maybe the folks over at Disney and Marvel are doing that same thing, as incredibly unexpectedly. They have, at the very last moment, well, it would have been the very last second, but the film's been delayed, but they have, in the ninth hour, dumped their composer. It's being reported that, this is coming through all the various news sites right now, that Black Widow composer shift as Andre Desplat has been replaced. He has been replaced by Lauren Balfe, and I'm sure I'm mispronouncing his name. But he has done such projects as 13 Hours, The Soldiers of Benghazi, Mission Impossible Fallout, Gemini Man, recent Bad Boys for Life, and the music for Six Underground, which, by the way, I don't really like Six Underground all that much. I thought the music in Six Underground was actually really, really good.
Yep.
Now, it should be noted here that this is actually the second time that he's been dumped and replaced at the very last second. He was also supposed to be doing the music for Rogue One, and then infamously was dumped at the last second of that for Michael Giacchino, and now he's been removed from this. So I guess Disney was not really happy or super stoked with the music and thought maybe it was too late, but now that the movie's been delayed, they decided to take advantage of it, I guess, and make a move. Rob, it's almost pointless to say this is sort of unprecedented, because we are living in an unprecedented time right now with all the delays and what is happening to the movie industry at the moment. There's no blueprint for this. There's no precedence for this. But even understanding that, and with the delay, what did you think about hearing about this, about, you know, the last second switch of one composer for another this late into the game on a Black Widow? What did you think?
Well, you know, I think that sometimes Andre Desplat is obviously a world-class composer. I mean, he's even done, he did a Harry Potter film. He did things like the Bourne Conspiracy. So the King's Speech, John, he composed the score for. But sometimes composers, just the material and the work they're doing just doesn't work for the film. And I don't think it's necessarily a failure of the composer. Sometimes things just don't gel. Remember, Howard Shore, the composer of Lord of the Rings that Peter Jackson worked with, was composing the music for King Kong, wasn't working out, and Peter Jackson replaced Howard Shore with James Newton Howard on King Kong. I think that maybe it just wasn't, it just didn't work out for whatever reason, and they wanted to go a different way. And maybe, you know, when a composer is hired, before a film comes together, throughout the editorial process, the film sort of changes. And when they finally put up the score to the film, they realize, you know, this isn't working as well as it should. And it's never an easy thing to do, but it happens. And I don't necessarily think it's an indicator of something larger in terms of talent or behind the scenes turmoil or something. Sometimes you just go a different way, and in post you're able to do that. And I think this composer, he's a newer composer. He's been doing exciting work in action cinema, and I think that they probably said, we need, obviously, a Mission Impossible Fallout score. It makes sense that they would want to go that direction for a movie like Black Widow, and now they have the time. And obviously, you know, movies are never finished. They're only abandoned. They only have to come out. They only have release dates they have to meet. And if they have the opportunity, it just shows, I think, if one studio has shown anything, it's that Marvel will work on these movies until they get it as right as they possibly can. And I think it speaks to them as a company, what they're doing. It's never an easy thing to do. And obviously, they went another way, and it probably was tough on them, but they did it, and they've got the time. So
yep. I think you raise a good point here. I think there are going to be some people who are tempted to look at this and say, oh, well, he must not have been doing a good job, or he must not be all that good. And I don't think that's the takeaway here at all. I think you're right about that, Rob. Look, this is a weird comparison, but think of it like this. Back when they were doing, what's the name of that damn bear? Paddington. Back when they were doing Paddington, the actor they got to be the voice of Paddington was Colin Firth. Academy Award-winning, brilliant, awesome actor Colin Firth. And then at the last minute, Colin Firth and the director put out a statement saying that Colin Firth said, you know what? It's just that we started watching some of the footage with my voice, and Colin Firth said, mine is not the right voice for Paddington. You know, that obviously is not a commentary on the incredible skill of Colin Firth. It's just that, you know what? My voice wasn't the right voice for this. And so at the last minute, he backed out. They got somebody else to go in and do the voice. It was a better match. It worked better. This is just a matter of, look, you're talking about these high-level artistic collaborations, right? The director and the composer. And if for whatever, you can have an uber-talented composer, but if for whatever reason, hey, you know what? The composer's not quite getting on the same wavelength as the director here. Okay, make a switch to somebody who is, like in the sense of Colin Firth, a better voice for it, a better match. So I think you're absolutely right about that, Rob. I don't think this is a negative commentary on anybody's skill as a composer. It still is kind of funny to hear at this point a switch being made, but if you got the extra time and you think you can improve your film and you got the money to do it, go ahead and do it. Question here is, guys, what do you think about this? What do you think about the last thing? Do you think, listen, the movie was done. It should have just been locked. They should have put it on a shelf until it's released. Or do you think, hey, if you've got the money to play around with and you think you can still tinker, go ahead and tinker with Black Widow. How do you guys feel about it? Jump into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys.